What's going on, guys? It's Adam P, and welcome back to more Newcastle United news. It was an astonishing day of football yesterday in the Premier League, from the top all the way down to the bottom. Of course, Newcastle picked up a win against Burnley, which means they now have 10 points out of a possible 12 in our last 4 games. Next Sunday, we are playing Sunderland at the Stadium of Light, of course, in the derby. So, for going at that game, I would say I think Newcastle certainly has set themselves up for a potential win down there, but a team that's unbeaten at home, it won't be easy, and it's a team that will get a result over Newcastle if we don't turn up. As for what's been going on in the Premier League, a lot of attention directed towards Liverpool, and despite Liverpool having their own mess at the minute, it heavily involves Newcastle United somehow. So we're here in this video to get to the bottom of it. Of course, if you guys are new around here, make sure to get down there, hit that subscribe button. Appreciate your support as always. I will be heading to Germany tomorrow, so make sure to join the journey and join them who are already subscribed so you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And I just have to say, appreciate everyone, by the way, who has been sending me their screenshots, because YouTube's recaps out now. So basically your top 5 most watched channels in 2025, you can just check them on the YouTube page. And the amount of screenshots I've got of people who have me in their top 5, I mean, it's the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And it's a real privilege and honour to see so many messages like this. So thank you. And I wanted to direct my attention towards Liverpool before we talk a lot more about Newcastle. I'm sure you would have seen Arne Slot press conference ahead of the Leeds game, and just what is one of the most astonishing comments I've seen in a long period of time. He went into detail and said, "It is obvious and clear that we do not have a profile of Jacob Murphy available at this moment of time." £130 million they spent on Alexander Isak this summer, and Arne Slot, despite you're talking £500 million spent across the summer, has taught journalists ahead of the Leeds game, one of the reasons we're not doing well so far is because we do not have a player available of a Jacob Murphy style of player. And obviously what he means by Murphy is someone who just contributes rather than being more of an individual. He wants to contribute to the team. And I think that sums up Liverpool, to be honest. The team is full of world-class stars, full of big names. Everyone wants that moment for Liverpool. Whereas Jacob Murphy is the player that just wants to get an assist. He wants to contribute rather than being that player who has that cup final moment, or being that player who has that last minute winner moment that he just wants to contribute to the team. And I could have taught you that 4 months ago. I think everyone could have taught you that 4 months ago. Obviously, Isak in Liverpool's team compared to Newcastle's team, where the entire squad is built around him. Of course, he's going to do better than the Newcastle team. Like, are you thick on this lot? Like, why do I or someone else need to tell you that? Like, you should have known that from minute one. Obviously, putting Isak in there with Salah alongside him, he's never going to get contributions, is he? Because Mohammed Salah's always a player that wants to score, always wants to do his own thing. And I was talking about Salah in just a moment, because his outrage yesterday seems to be almost a bit of a direct response to the Jacob Murphy comments. But the fact he is highlighting Murphy, especially saying, well, the reason Isak's not doing well because I haven't got a Murphy style of player. Oh my God, thank you. Someone's actually clicked on to what we've been saying. Listen, we aren't deluded. We aren't saying Isak's nothing about Murphy, but there's a reason why we call Isak the iPhone and Murphy the iPhone charger, because they're that important to each other. They need each other. And yeah, Liverpool fans called us all stupid. Well, who's stupid now? But going on topic to the Salah stuff, obviously after the Leeds game, a 3-3 draw in the end, he came out and essentially just properly looked to get Arne Slot sacked. Talked to journalists and went into detail saying, I had a good relationship with the manager. All of a sudden, we don't have that relationship. I don't know why. It seems like someone doesn't want me in the club. A real power play from Salah. There's no way Arne Slot's getting out of this one. One of your most important players ever. You're talking one of the Premier League all-time greats has came out and said that the manager doesn't want me here. I don't talk to the manager anymore. He puts me in the bench in these matches. Like, there's no way Arne Slot is getting out of that. It's only going to result in one thing here, and that's the manager getting the sack. He might last a couple more games, but there's no way you're not picking Salah over the manager. Like, Salah's always going to be the choice people pick. The fact that that's been almost a response, albeit a lot of different factors as well. But one of the reasons why Salah's came out and said all that yesterday is because he made a Jacob Murphy comment. I mean, what a world we are living in. I mean, I've got to be honest, nothing against Liverpool fans watching this video, but the most deserved piece of karma I've ever seen. After that summer and after all the crap Newcastle got across the summer, to see them completely implode and everyone turn on each other, and to see Isak, a player who refused to play, refused to train, struggle so much up front and just be a complete shell of his former self, I just have to say it is so deserved. It is so deserved. And that's come from someone who may sound bitter, but honestly, after the summer we've had, after the nightmare we've had across the summer, they can get stuffed. Arne Slot can get stuffed. And I want to speak more in a positive light towards a different former player at Newcastle United, because Martin Dubravka decided yesterday to share a moment with the fans. And when I mean share a moment, he actually deliberately waited until every single player left the pitch at St James's Park before just having a moment by himself, going around the stadium clapping the fans in what is likely to be his final ever match at St James's Park as a player. Of course, Burnley are expected to go down this season. If he decides to leave Burnley, it's probably not going to be to a Premier League club. So it's at that stage now, Dubravka, he knows it might be his last at Newcastle, so he's decided to share a moment with the fans in what is quite a bittersweet ending to this Newcastle saga and this Newcastle run that he's had, because it's been such a bizarre saga 2 years ago, because of course he forced that loan move to Manchester United. We just signed Nick Pope, decided I don't want to stick around, I don't want to compete for my spot. Straight away went out to Manchester United on loan, was going to just throw Newcastle away if it worked out. It didn't work out, which meant that you had to face the Mees to come back to Newcastle. But to be fair to Dubravka, helped us with our first domestic major honour in 70 years, and certainly I feel like has done enough last season to suggest to our fan base that he deserves that fantastic send-off he got yesterday. And the unfortunate thing I seen a couple of days ago was actually an interview that he did with Martin Hardy, where he went into details saying that his wife was crying when he didn't get picked for the cup final. And it was almost kind of like, I don't think it meant to be this way, but it almost kind of came across like he was trying to throw a bit of dirt in Eddie Howe or throw a bit of dirt in Newcastle last season. And I've seen a lot of people agreeing with him, but I'm going to be honest, we've won the cup final. Nick Pope made a huge save in the cup final. Yes, Nick Pope hasn't been good this season, but we won the cup final last season. I'm not going to lie, I could not care less how his lass is feeling. Like, I just want Newcastle to do well on the pitch. I believe in Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe at the time believed that dropping Martin Dubravka after the semi-final and then bringing Nick Pope back in was in the best interest of the team, and we won the cup final. And Dubravka can be upset all he wants about not playing the cup final. He would have played the Manchester United Cup final a couple of years ago if he decided not to go out on loan, because when he was sent back from Manchester United, he was cup tied because he was playing for them in the Carabao Cup. So that meant Laurel Karius was in goal. Mark Gillespie was your second choice goalkeeper in that final. He would have started that game, and he decided to go out on loan and just ended up completely messing the club up that season in the cup final. So yeah, Dubravka, you would have got your moment then. You didn't get your moment 2 years later. Might be harsh, but deep down, I trust in the manager and I trust in the club. And they're going to bang on, because Nick Pope, to be fair, was actually quite good in the final. But in terms of Newcastle, of course, we are now looking ahead to Bayer Leverkusen in the Champions League. We rotated the squad well yesterday, 6 changes, and I'm not going to lie, it was a horrendous game of football to watch. But Newcastle tactically looked at the games this week and decided to prioritise Leverkusen and Sunderland over Burnley, which of course is the correct choice. Newcastle still won yesterday. I don't care how we played, we got the job done. We got the 3 points on the board, and it means that, like, so Lewis Hall, we're talking some of your big names, and I think Barnes will come back in, Murphy will come back in, Shorty Tenardi will come back in against Leverkusen. Which, again, probably get a similar amount of time, I reckon, against Leverkusen, and then against Sunderland, I think he'll get a big chunk of time in that game. Potentially, even in the second half, if we need to, maybe 2 strikers, or have Nick behind Wissa and try and play the dynamics of both of them together. I feel like that would be interesting to watch, but certainly this week now, Bayer Leverkusen's a big Champions League game. I know we can get the job done against PSV at St James's Park, but you don't want to rely on one game, because if you don't win that game, then you have to get someone at PSG away, which is you're talking the literal Champions League winners. So for me, Bayer Leverkusen, you get a draw there. I don't mind that or a draw. You get a draw there, means against PSV, a draw will get you into the knockout phase of the competition. Of course, you win it by Leverkusen, that's the entire work done. For me, though, 1 point. You get a draw there. You don't need to win at St James's Park. A draw there will be fine as well. That's going to set you up, and that will get you into the Champions League knockout phase. So for me, just getting something this week at Bayer Leverkusen, I'm happy with. Of course, Sunderland's the big one on Sunday. Must win. Not going to deny it. A must win. And despite how incredibly well their season has been, 1 point. Only 1 point ahead of Newcastle. Liverpool, a team that's been all over the place this season. They're 1 point ahead of Newcastle. Everton, a team that was smashed 4-1 last week. 1 point ahead of Newcastle. Like, it's such a tight league table, and there's so many teams in amongst it. Newcastle, once the teams break away, Newcastle has to be in those good teams breaking away, because otherwise you're going to fall far down the league table. It's been a competitive season. It's been a brilliant season to watch as a neutral. But at a Newcastle point of view, you need to keep the points going, especially when we'll start having some hard fixtures coming up as well. We've got to get the points now. Sunderland, for me, I don't care how good they've been this season, it is a winnable game. Going down to Sunderland, in my opinion, with the luxury as well of having been able to play there a couple of seasons ago. Eddie Howe's been there before. Most of the players have been there before. They've experienced the atmosphere. They've experienced the derby feeling. Go back there and replicate it. Go back there and do it again. Because the players, certainly in my opinion, despite the much well-deserved improvement at Sunderland, I do have to admit, Newcastle should still be going there and getting the results. So we'll see what happens anyway. But of course, we've got to do a Bayer Leverkusen first. So appreciate you guys watching. Take care, and we'll see you all in Germany.